Taped from New Jersey, it's the SNL Nerds, a show where two comics from New Jersey nerd out about Saturday Night Live. I'm your co-host, John Trumbull.
And I'm your co-host, Darren Patterson.
Hey, Darren Patterson.
How's it going? Yow! Coming in, rock you like a hurricane. Coming in hot, yeah. SNL Nerds in the morning. Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Hey. SNL Nerds in the morning.
It's Trumbull and the D.
The Trumbull and the douche.
Douche Nation. Oh, we have fun.
We do.
Oh, good times, sir. It's wow. We're coming on the end of SNL, the 50th right now.
Barreling towards the end of the season. Wow. Just after we get this turkey out of the way, we got 2 more episodes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Looks like you just gave away your thoughts on this just right up top. Then.
Well, no. When I referred to it as a turkey, I was referring to the podcast in general.
Ah, got it. Okay, very good.
Yeah. So
cool. All right, well.
Yeah.
Good to know.
This is season 50, episode 19, air date May 3rd, 2025, with returning host Quinta Brunson and I believe first-time musical guest Benson Boone.
First time for Mr. Boone, yes. He's burning up the charts with his leotard jumpsuits and backflips. And the
guy likes doing backflips. I saw some behind-the-scenes footage of him, like, in his photo session. He's just backflipping up a storm, man.
Yeah, I didn't even know that about him. I just, I'm vaguely familiar with his big hit, I think Beautiful Things, or it's called something like that. But I didn't know
the mystical, magical...
The Magical Mystery Tour. No, he has, a big song that was, a huge hit that got, a lot of radio play. But he didn't do that song this night. It's called Beautiful. Okay. It's called Beautiful Things. Came out last year.
I don't know if I know that one. Yeah.
Well, give it a listen. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah. So I've heard his songs and they're all right. But I didn't know he was. He seems like he's more well known for doing all these acrobatics and whatnot. Like the first time I saw it was when he was on the Grammys, and
yes,
and he did that backflip off a piano onto the stage.
That's right. Yes, I did see footage of that, and his name didn't stay in my head. So yeah. I was coming to him pretty fresh for this.
Yeah, same, pretty much. I was like, he sounds. Who is this stunt coordinator? Just flipping and flopping everywhere.
Yeah,
kind of sounds like Imagine Dragons. All right, let's go. Not too shabby. And and also Quinta Brunson, second time back on the show. Yeah.
Hosted last season, did a very nice job. Obviously they liked her, so they asked her back. Mm-hmm. So how'd you do? Is there any sort of sophomore slump? Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out. So we got starting out the show, we got our usual Trump cold open. Gosh,
yeah.
What is there to say about these things at this point? I feel like we could just copy and paste our previous comments on all the other Trump cold opens,
Yeah, pretty much. So, they do try to switch it up a little bit. So this is the Trump exec.
Do they, Darren Patterson?
Do they?
How did... I'm going to challenge you on this. I'm going to push back a little. How did they try to switch it up?
Well, in this one, they talk about Trump's executive orders. And they had Mikey Day coming out as Stephen Miller.
That wasn't bad.
Yeah, and he came out to box Toccata and Fugue in D minor, which is like the Frankenstein music, basically, or the Dracula
Well, you
music.
Could have just said Frankenstein music. Now
you
made all the fine people feel stupid.
I wanted to sound more highbrow. I'm trying to elevate this podcast, John.
Okay.
For all that,
I'm just going to have to work harder to drag it back down into the mire where I'm comfortable.
Oh, fine. Bring it down to your plebeian level.
Hi, Jonathan. Folks. I'm the SNL nerd host who'll never talk down to you. Not like that pseudo-intellectual Darren Patterson.
Oh, what was that here? I couldn't hear over the rabble of your jug playing.
Yeah, put down the cigarette holder for 1 minute, Darren. Listen to what the people are saying.
Oh, boy. And scene.
So anyway, yeah. So we had a scroll comparing FDR's first 100 days to Trump's, and Trump says he's signed 147 executive orders. I made a note about Elmo being apprehended by ICE.
Mm-hmm. Because the defunding of
And
the PBS, yeah.
yeah, and Mikey Day comes on to Stephen Miller, and he's making him sign ever more absurd executive orders, like
There are some of
reducing the
the.
number of
Yeah.
interracial couples in commercials.
I genuinely don't know if that's something they made up or something he actually did. I genuinely, and that terrifies me.
I feel like that's something they made up, but it's easy to imagine
Mm.
it being something he did because he's trying to make tariffs for movies that are shot overseas, which
Mm.
and like executive orders aren't binding from what I understand, so
No, they're just shit. He
it's
just
not like
shouts
they're
out.
instant
Yeah,
laws.
they're
Yeah,
just you
so
just stuff he just shouts out for attention, and it's like, ugh. Yeah. I mean, he also talked about how he's making it now socially acceptable for a man in his 70s to date a 24-year-old. He called it the Belichick
yeah,
law,
right.
and
Because like Bill Belichick was on some show or podcast this week, and his 24-year-old girlfriend was in there, and
yeah, it got weird.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Belichick is
That's about
yeah.
the extent of what I know about it. Because
That's all you need to know. That's all you need
yeah,
to know. He's
and he has a pardon for J.K. Rowling, and there was a line about how uh, overweight millennials make Harry Potter their entire identity.
yes,
That got a
well past point to be of well past the point of it being cute.
yeah, yeah, that got a big reaction from the crowd.
I feel like a lot of people. I mean, I'm sure it's a younger audience, so like that
Hmm.
really hit it with them. It's like, oh, I'm a Hufflepuff. No, bitch, you work at Staples.
Yeah, yeah. And we had Marcella come on as Marco Rubio, who's very browbeaten at this point, and
Yeah,
Trump signs an executive order forbidding Latina babies to get their ears pierced because apparently that's a big problem.
I
I
get.
in Trump's
Yeah,
world, I guess.
yeah. I feel like
I personally, John Trump will have no opinion on this.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for that part, I thought that was. I feel like there was a better Latino joke in there somewhere. The babies
I
getting their
like
ears
the
pierced.
basic
Okay.
characterization of Marco Rubio
Yeah,
as just being very browbeaten and trapped in a hell of his own making at this point. That's
yeah.
not bad. And
That's
I
not bad.
like Mikey's Stephen Miller. I'm just so done with impressions of Trump in general. Even
Yeah,
one as spectacular as James Austin Johnson's.
yeah. I mean, I think we've talked about it before. It is a bit of a monkey's paw situation where he has this
Yeah,
amazing Trump impression, but he's coming into it at a time where people really don't want to hear from this maniac any longer.
yeah. I
Or
mean,
at
there's
least
no
good people.
novelty to it, and also he has a ton of amazing impressions,
He
and
does.
he doesn't get to do much. Like I remember he tweeted like right after the November election, he was like, "You guys know I have other characters, right?"
Yeah, I mean, occasionally he'll be able to do some. Like he has a Bob Dylan impression.
Hmm.
They were able to use that a little bit here and there. Or I mean, his Louis C.K. they only did once. I wish they would bring it back for something because it is a very good impression.
Yeah.
The Homer Simpson they only did it once. Like yeah, like I wish I would. That is a good point. I would like to see him use more of the weaponry in his arsenal.
Or hell, even have him imitate some other people in the administration. I wouldn't mind seeing that just for variety's sake. Just
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know. Yeah, I don't have. The problem is I don't have much to say about these Trump cold opens anymore because I just feel like they're just very rote, very by the numbers. So
yeah.
I don't see why I have to come up with fresh commentary on them when they don't come up with fresh cold opens.
Here, here, monologue. Let's move along.
So anyway, yeah, Quinta Brunson monologue coming out.
Uh,
She look a little like Betty Boop.
Dude, I was saying that I wrote that down exactly. Betty
Yeah,
Boopish.
because she's got the little curly Q thing in her hair. She's got short hair. She's in like a little black dress. And maybe I just have Betty Boop on the brain because there's that new musical Boop. I think it's
Oh
just
yeah.
called Boop, isn't it?
I don't.
Anyway, there's a Betty Boop musical on Broadway.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I've heard of it, but I don't know much about
Hmm.
it. Sorry. But yeah. So her monologue, she brings up things like she's a college dropout. She worked on a phone sex line back in the day,
Hmm.
which, you know, It's like, but they didn't really do much with that little joke.
Yeah, she
But
talked
like,
about how she got paid by the second and earned like I think $1.37 or something. Or
yeah, and I was like, all right.
yeah,
But like the main part of this monologue is she talks about being short and how it's okay to be short because Quinta Brunson's a tiny lady, 4'11".
yeah,
Wowzers,
yeah,
that's down there. And
yeah,
then she goes into a nice little song and dance about being a short person.
yeah. And then we have a Sabrina Carpenter cameo.
Yes, a fellow shorty, 5'1".
Okay, you looked up everyone's heights.
I sure
Mar-
did.
Marcelo Hernandez comes out. How tall is he, Darren?
5'6".
Nice. Okay. And
Haha.
Marcelo comes out because he's like, hey, next to you guys, I look super tall. Yay. And then we have basketball star Dwayne. I'm going to say Dwayne Wayne, even though I'm 90% sure that was the guy from a different world.
It was, and I swear I've always called this guy Dwayne Wayne too, but it's Dwayne Wade. And
I'm just going to keep calling him Dwayne Wayne.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right. So little honesty time here. When he came out, did you know who he was right off the bat?
Okay, I feel like this is trying to trap me into saying something racist.
It's not. No, I mean, like, did you recognize who it was?
No.
Okay, yeah, me neither. All right, so there you go.
No, I'm not a sports person, and I don't follow basketball like at all. If it's a basketball star and it's not Shaquille O'Neal, I'm not going to know who the F that is.
I'd like to think you at least know what like LeBron looks like, or
yeah, okay, LeBron, yeah, sure.
Dennis Rodman, the big ones.
Well, yeah, I mean,
right, so that's
again, another guy going back to the '90s. So,
all right, whatever. That's 3 right there, Jock. So there you go.
Okay.
So. But yeah, I honestly didn't know who he like when he came out. I was like, oh, that's a basketball guy.
Right.
Who is it? Oh, it's Gabrielle Union's husband.
He's married to Gabrielle Union. Okay,
he's married. I think so. I'm pretty sure he is. Now I don't even know.
I didn't even Google this guy because I didn't even get his name down. So,
but yeah, it's Dwayne Wade, and he's actually. I thought he was still like playing basketball. Apparently, he retired like 4 years ago.
Oh, well, okay.
So yeah, look at us learning.
And he's 6'4". And
yes, and he's 6'4", and they're like, "What are you talking about? You're 6'4". That's not short." And he's like, "Yeah, it's short for the NBA." Mm-hmm. So I felt seen by your short song. So let me join you in your shortness. And they all sing a nice little song about being short, about how, hey, when you eat short ribs, does it just taste just like ribs? And when you read short stories, do they feel like novels? Ha!
Yeah, I felt like they didn't have much to say in this monologue, so they just kind of reached for whatever. So
yeah, like the beginning part, like it started off with the whole college dropout thing and
the honorary degree, and yeah,
it's like all right, like I mean, I guess
but they didn't stick with either one of those, and
they didn't.
Yeah,
no, they did not. They just like did one quick joke and just moved on to the next.
They're like, we wrote a joke for each of these. By God, we're going to include them.
By gum. All right, yes, he is married to Gabrielle Union. All right, that's right.
Oh, well, good for him. All right.
But monologue charming enough. I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing too, nothing didn't really bowl me over, but
didn't blow me away. No.
Singing a cute little song about being short. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Can't relate.
Mm-hmm. That's right. We're both towering men, ladies and gentlemen.
We are.
That's right.
We're men of stature.
That's right.
In every sense of the word.
Yes. How's the weather up here? Am I right, guys? Am I right?
So our first sketch was Will and Todd's Radical Experience, which is our copyright-free Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure parody.
Yeah, part of me was wondering why can't they just say Bill and Ted? Why do they have to go for the knockoff?
I think it's just they're just covering their asses so that there's not any sort of. I mean, parody is protected under the law, but maybe they just want to protect themselves in case this sketch hits and they want to do sequels or something. Because I don't know, but that's what SNL tends to do. Like I remember, like a few years ago, they did like a Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes.
Thing when what's his name?
Momoa.
Jason Momoa was hosting, and he was playing like Ogre in a Revenge of the Nerds thing, and it was like Dominion of the Geeks or something like that. Yeah, it's just what they do. They just, like, they let you know early on, oh, this is the water we're swimming in, but it's different enough to not be actionable, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess you're right. So so in this one we have Marcelo and Dismukes as Will and Todd, and of course now that this is like towards the end of the movie where they're like, all right, guys, we just want to say thank you to everything you've done for us. All the historical figures that they brought into their future of 1987. So they're saying, well,
to
now
help
it's
them
time
pass their history exam.
pass their most excellent history exam, and it was most radical.
Right.
So it's time for them all to go back home. So we see Emil Joachim as Julius Caesar, Chloe Feynman as Queen Elizabeth. We see Mikey Day as Leonardo da Vinci, which is another little funny thing where Marcelo almost accidentally called him Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, that seemed like it wasn't an intentional joke. It was like Marcelo just started to say Leonardo DiCaprio out of habit.
Yeah.
Which
Leonardo DiCaprio.
He catches himself, yeah.
But I mean, for the character he's playing, it kind of works.
Yeah, it kind of did. I mean, it wasn't bad. And then lastly, we have Quinta Brunson and Keenan as Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass, and they're just both like, yeah, we don't want to go back.
And you know why, guys. You know why.
And they're like, but you both have to go back to help put an end to slavery. And they're like, oh no, there's lots of people working on that.
Someone will step up. The bench is deep.
Yeah, and Queen Elizabeth is like, oh, but no, we have to go back to our proper times. And they're like, bitch, you're going back to be the Queen of England.
Yeah, I know. That's another thing I kind of noticed when I was taking notes for this show. The word "bitch" gets dropped a lot throughout this episode. It's like, yeah. Well, you'll see. You'll see.
What's the tally? Did you keep a tally?
I think there's like maybe 4 or 5 actually.
Ooh, I wonder how many bitches they're allowed per show.
I don't know, but they came close to the line, my friend. The whole lot of bitches
like I know their network standards and practices person. She just retired. I think after the anniversary special. So yeah, maybe the new person is more lenient or something. Who knows?
The cat's away.
Yeah,
the bitches will play.
I really like the line where the Bill and Ted equivalents, Will and Todd, were saying, "You guys are from the 1-800s." And I was like, that's a great gag. That's like worthy of being in one of the real Bill and Ted's movies, which are like pretty cleverly written, I gotta say.
Yeah, they're a lot better written than you'd think they'd be. But
they're smart movies about dumb people.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of the fun thing.
That's the fun of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So it's just basically the majority of the sketch is them trying to convince Frederick Douglass and Harry Tubman to get back into the phone booth to take them back to their time, and they're like, "No, we're okay, we're good." I think at one point Frederick Douglass talks to Devin Walker, who's on his big ass Zach Morse cell phone, asking me, "Do you have a job?" Yes. "Do you get paid?" "Of course." Well, that's it. We're staying here.
Yeah.
Because I think this mix is tied. It's like, oh no, we have inequality, and we have inequality here too. So it's not as we still have our problems here, and of course, the two of them properly laugh in his face.
Yeah, I thought this was a good sketch, but I felt like it didn't really have anywhere to go after that initial turn.
Same.
Where they were like, "Oh, we don't want to go back." You can't. It's a tough place to build from there.
Yeah.
So after that first gag, I was just like, okay, well, where do we go from here? And then it just kind of petered out.
Yeah, same. I did. Yeah, that one turn where like as soon as they say, "Yeah, we're not going back." Mm-hmm. I like that part, but everything else.
Yeah, but like what can top that?
Yeah, like they kind of, I guess, peaked early in this sketch, and they didn't really have anywhere else to go.
Shot their wad, as it were.
Blew their load.
Yeah.
Most excellent.
Yeah, we've never had a network censor, so we can say whatever the fuck we want.
Say whatever the fuck we want. We don't give a fuck.
Bitch. There.
Yeah.
We used all the bitches.
all the bitches. I'll throw in a few more bitches for good measure.
Yeah, that's right, bitch.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
We're the bad boys of the SNL Nerd Podcast.
that's right. We're the bad
Yeah.
boys of morning radio.
Da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bad. Do-do-do-do-do. Ba-ba-ba-ba-bad. That's right. Crank up that George Thorogood. Oh, we have fun.
So I mean, it still might be my sketch of the night. I mean, it
Okay.
might be the one that amused me the most.
Yeah. All
But
right.
yeah, I still felt it was like sort of. I don't want to say so. It was pretty good. I'll go as far as pretty good,
Yeah.
but it didn't have like a big payoff because yeah, I mean, because what can you do after we're not going back.
Yeah. Like they needed to escalate it somehow, but they never really
Yeah,
quite figured out how to
yeah,
do
it's a
that.
tough thing to do. But
Yeah. All right. Well, c'est la vie.
yeah, that's the way it goes.
Some things will never change. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo.
Next, we got a pre-tape, Only Seniors, and it's
I have writing credits for this one. This one was written by Michael Che and Dan Bulla.
ooh,
So
well, look at that. Okay.
yeah, and after seeing this sketch, yeah, it's like this does feel like a Che. This does feel like a Che joint.
Yeah, I can. I mean, the fact that we're doing a sketch that's more or less about OnlyFans, yeah, that seems like a very Che thing.
It's Che's wheelhouse
Yeah.
where he lives.
So we got Ego and Devin as a son and daughter, and they're talking about their parents. They're talking to their parents, and they're like, "Oh, you need some life insurance," and they're like, "Oh no, don't worry, we're taken care of." And they've got an account on Only Seniors, and as they describe it, their kids realize, "Oh, you're talking about OnlyFans. You're on
Yeah,
OnlyFans."
right. That's they got that good life insurance. No physical
Mhm.
exams, no background checks. Just fill out a few forms online, set up your camera, and do stuff to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and it's basically naked old people, you know,
yeah,
doing things
performing
like
for their chat babies.
yes, and then they doing like a little dance naked, having people over like the Johnsons next door naked, and we see old Heidi and Mikey Day coming over,
Yeah, with
robes akimbo,
and parts blurred out, and
so
so,
many parts,
yeah,
you know, tie each
so
other,
so much pixelation.
oof, tie each other up, buckball naked.
Yeah,
There's at one point, I think Ego says, "Yeah, mom, this is OnlyFans," and the Quinta, the mother, gets really upset and starts, "I'll take you across my knee. You ain't too old. You ain't too grown." And then of course Keenan calms her down by pressing a button on a remote, and you hear a vibrating sound.
I don't know what that means.
You look that up. I'll
Okay,
leave the,
all right, I'll do some googling later on.
I'll leave that for you to discover.
Okay, all right. I look
Um,
forward to being educated on this.
I can't wait. I'll use my work computer. This shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have a virus.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Well, can't win them all.
So, what'd you think of this, Darren?
I thought it was all right. I feel like it might have kind of went on a little too long, just a little bit. Like even
Uh
though it's
huh.
not that long a sketch,
Yeah,
like
it's
once
3 minutes. Yeah.
yeah, but like once you see where it's going, it kind of I don't know. It kind of goes around in circles a little bit, where they're like, "Oh, we set up. All you have to do is set up cameras in the bedroom and the living room and the shower and the toilet."
Mm-hmm.
You see Devin almost going to get a piece of cake, and then Keenan stops and
And
says,
they're
"No,
like,
that
"Oh
cake is
no, that one's for sitting." Yeah.
that's that's my sitting cake."
Yeah. It's a
Uh,
squat cobbler for all you
oh,
Better Call Saul fans.
oh, Mamma Mia!
Squat cobbler.
Squad Cop. That's a good name for like a band or something, or
It kind of is. Yeah. Yeah.
maybe like a baseball player from the '70s. Squad
Sure.
Cobbler coming up to the plate. It's a high fly ball from Squad Cobbler. Uh,
So yeah, this was all right. I think Quinta and Keenan play off each other real well. We get to see that a few times
uh,
tonight.
yeah,
So
they're in a number of sketches together, like
they
quite
are,
a
they
bit.
are. They just coupled up, I guess, because she's the host and he's the most experienced player of African American descent on the show
Nice,
currently. I
very
don't know.
nice ally. Very
You could
nice.
you could have paired her up with Devin once, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Throw the
coulda.
new guy a bone.
Is he new? He's been there for a minute. I feel like at this
Well,
point.
in comparison to Keenan.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. But yeah, it's not a bad sketch. I don't know. Maybe just needed more escalation or something. I know I'm using that word a
Mm-hmm.
lot, but like it feels like
Escalation is one of your go-to words. I have
it
noticed,
is. It
but
is.
yeah.
Everybody do a shot every time I say escalation.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's right. Get everybody drunk.
All right.
But yeah, next up, Leadership Summit.
Leadership Summit. We got, let's see, it was Mikey and I want to say Heidi leading a conference.
Emil and Chloe.
So close. So close.
Not really, but all right.
Yeah, well, no. Well, I named two other people who are in SNL.
A
No,
man and
I
a
didn't. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't write down who was playing what. So, like, Emil and Chloe are leading this conference, and they're talking about how when you have to criticize a coworker or a subordinate, you should position it in a compliment sandwich. You say something nice, then you give some constructive criticism, and then you say something nice to finish it up.
Right.
And
Something like, Jessica, you're a very hard worker. Your kids are ugly, and you're good at the computer.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
And yeah, so it's basically like a thing where everybody in the class in the conference is a little nutty, and like
Mm-hmm.
Emil and Chloe are like the sane ones. Like you kind of
Right,
know that there's something wrong with everybody in the audience at the summit when they because at the beginning of the sketch they start off with the Lord's Prayer.
right. Yeah, they're winding that up, and they're like, again, not really necessary for us to say the Lord's Prayer since this is a work event.
Yeah, as soon as they did that, I was like, all right, they're all insane, and
Yeah,
Chloe and Emil are like the normal ones.
right,
Okay.
right. I did like saying to Ashley Patia's character, "You're beautiful, you're bad at the computer, and I'd like you to wear shorter things."
And she just says, I will.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah, so then we also have Keenan playing this quirky character, talking about how he like a condiment sandwich. It kind of, I don't know,
It kind of goes astray a little bit, I
a
think.
little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I think at one point, Emil and Chloe talk about what are best ways to motivate your employees, and JAJ says, I don't know, sexual threats.
Yeah, this
And
could
Emil's
be
like,
wrong, but sexual threats?
sexual threats.
And I liked Quinta confessing to Sarah Sherman's character, like, I had sex with your husband.
Yes. Because he said, "Oh well, what about instead of a compliment sandwich? What about a continent sandwich?
Yeah.
Like Australia. I had sex with your husband. South America.
Yeah. And then like Bowen comes on as another like quirky character at the end. Yeah, by the end I was just like, what is this? What
It's silly.
what are we doing here? Yeah.
It's a big old bag of silly.
Yeah. Uh, Despite liking the stray line here and there, like, you're beautiful, you're bad at the computer, and I'd like you to wear shorter things. I wasn't too nuts about this one overall.
Yeah, it kind of had a little bit of everything. It was just like basically this hodgepodge, mishmash of non sequiturs all over the place. I think at one point, Keenan and Marcelo pitch an idea for a dessert burrito called a bursuito, and then I think Quinta comes up with the theme song for the bursuito, which is basically just a theme song to The Simpsons. And then Chloe says, well, food doesn't have a theme song. And then Quinta says, then explain baby back ribs, bitch. Third bitch of the night. Boom.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the whole sketch ends up being a commercial for bursuito, which I was like, I wish they would find a better ending for it.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm kind of over the whole like, oh, this whole sketch was actually just a commercial for this absurd product. I feel like we've gone to that well a few too many times.
we have.
Yeah.
Speaking of going to the well, Fairy Altercation.
Fairy Altercation. Is this the third time they've done this? But like, she's only hosted twice, right? haven't they done this 3 times
This is
somehow?
this is the third time they did it. The second time they did it was on the Martin Short episode, where Melissa McCarthy made her big appearance, where she smeared her,
Okay,
sm-
okay,
where
okay.
she
So the second time it wasn't with Quinta Brunson.
right. The
All
third
right.
time was it was with Martin Short, and then Melissa McCarthy came on and put him on the glass, smeared her boobs on
Oh,
the
that's right. That's right. Yes.
you know. So
So it's actually the fourth time they've done this.
no, this is the third time they did it.
This is the third time.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay. So it was Melissa McCarthy and Martin Short together.
yeah, yeah. Don't you remember that one? It was pretty
I
hilarious.
vaguely remember it now. Yeah,
Okay, but yeah, yeah.
I was just like, because they did it with Quinta again. I remember the first time when they did it with her. So
Yes. So ferry altercation is basically the same premise. Two people in two separate cars, but this
right.
time instead of being on the road, they're parked on the ferry going.
Oh wow. Well, we're really mixing up the formula. Wow. Yeah.
No.
And yeah, Quentin's car is too far over the line, so that's
Yes.
why Mikey's really annoyed with her, and so they start miming to each other, and it's humorous. And
Yeah.
Chloe, as Mikey's daughter, gets inappropriately sexual at times,
Like you're
and her
nuts, and slams.
yeah,
Shows the crotch.
and he's
But
like, "No, don't hang them against your chin and your mouth. No."
nuts. Which also, by sidebar, if they're both just on the ferry, and I mean, as far as I know, it's not going to be that noisy. Can't they just roll down the window and talk? Like if they're that close to each other?
I'm not going to question the reality that much. I mean, I'm gonna give it to him there.
All right.
Um,
Uh,
uh,
hmm.
I mean, this kind of like lives and dies on the creativity of the insults and the miming. And we had like him saying, "I need more than half an inch," meaning half an inch for his car to fit in. And she's like, "Oh yeah, I bet you do. That's what your wife said last night."
Oh
And
shit! Oh shit!
and and Chloe is actually like, she's doing kiss my ass, but she like is miming spreading
Yeah,
cheeks
yeah.
open
She's like,
wide.
yeah, that's eating ass, madam.
Yeah, I guess it is. I guess so. Yes.
Madam, that's eating ass.
Yeah. And I like that she just says, "Look, you raised a hoe," and he's like, "Yeah, I know."
And in this one, instead of Quinta's mom being in the backseat, popping her head in, it's Quinta's dad, played by Keenan again,
Yep.
and him talking about how I was in Iraq, I'll come mess you up,
Hmm.
punk, and then that's when Mikey backs off, and is like, all right, I'm sorry, sorry, thank you for your service, and then we have Mikey saying, wow, this is so uncomfortable. Usually I love taking the ferry. And then Colin Jost comes out as Colin Jost and
Yeah.
bangs on their window and say, "Hey, you like ferries? Do you want to buy a ferry?"
Yeah.
And I was like, that came out of nowhere. It was interesting
So yeah, that's the reason we set this one on the ferry. Ha ha.
because Colin Jost made a horrible financial investment.
I guess so. Yeah, he bought this ferry with Pete Davidson a few years ago, and they want to turn it into a nightclub or something like that.
Yeah,
And
I haven't heard anything being like, as far as I know, that thing is like nowhere near being. I don't think it's gonna happen. I haven't heard anything about.
probably not.
Oh well, c'est la vie. It's only money, right?
Yeah. So what? Yeah. I mean, he and Scarlett had that Avengers money, so I doubt
That's
they're
right.
hurting.
That's right. They
Um,
got Black Widow bucks.
Yeah. Yeah. She like had a lawsuit and everything.
Yeah.
Um,
This one, yeah.
I mean, I'm fine if they don't go back to this well again. I feel like we've gotten all the juice out of this particular premise.
yeah.
I mean, it's still funny, but it's not surprising anymore. So
Yeah. I think that's the thing about the first time they did it. It was like it was so new and
mhm.
inventive and just like, oh
Yeah.
wow, we've never
And
seen
well
it.
performed, and
Yeah.
they do a great job with it every time. But it's like, yeah, I mean, how many more times can we do this? So
Yeah. I mean, the jokes still make me chuckle and laugh, and
mm,
Colin Jost popping out. I was like, all right, that was pretty funny. Like I kind of got a kick out of that. I like this whole runner we have that Colin Jost bought a ferry and doesn't know what the fuck to do with it now. But yeah, like I think we're slowly getting to maybe bit of a diminishing returns with
Yeah.
this, unless we find a totally new way to like revamp it and do something completely different with it. But
Yeah, I mean
yeah,
that's the thing is I'm like, oh, what else can you do with it at this point?
yeah.
We done the traffic jams and we done the ferry. We did the what was it in the McCarthy thing? Was it still a traffic jam or was it like a car wash or something?
No, no, they
I don't
were
remember.
fighting over a parking space on
There we
Christmas
go. Okay.
on Christmas Day.
All right.
So it was that. So maybe they could be in a car wash, and they no, I know that's bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forever
I think we're
31.
done.
That
Yeah.
took forever. Yeah.
Forever 31. This is another pre-tape.
Mhm.
Um, so we're talking about women like going from that transition from their 20s when they're the young sexy Coachella whore
Mhm.
into when you're 31 where for the woman who's stylish but tired.
Yes. Yeah, you have then go to Forever 31 where they have every color of the bummer rainbow. You
Right.
know, big loose suit, big ass suit, big old David Byrne suit.
Yep. Lots of
Uh,
big baggy clothes, big sweaters, big suits, big and all sorts of drab colors like black and beige
khaki.
and navy blue if you're feeling really
Arrgh.
really yeah.
Yeah.
um
Clothes that say I can get a hangover from just cheese.
Yeah. I liked when Quinta Brunson's character said, I probably am bisexual, but it's a little too late.
Comes with a giant purse full of an iPad, sensible flats, and hummus.
This was pretty cute. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, I got a kick out. This might be my sketch of the night. I did get a
Yeah,
kick out of this one. Um,
yeah,
it
that's
gave,
up there.
yeah, it kind of gave me fashion coward vibes a little bit from the Emma
Yeah, I can
Stone
see that.
episode. And
Sure.
but yeah, I liked how they hit on all the tropes of once you're, I mean, I wouldn't know from personal
Hmm.
experience, but like once you're a lady in your 30s, you kind of slow shit down, and the way you dress changes, and
Yeah,
you start wearing clothes that say, "My parents are older now," and I think about that a lot.
yeah. I like, what is the line they had? Like, I make Diane Keaton look like a prostitute or something like
Yeah, oh
that.
yeah, that was funny too.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, so this is a good one. Written by Chloe Fineman, Allison Gates, and Ken Sublette.
Nice. All right.
Mhm.
Next we have two bitches versus a gorilla. This is a
This
weird
was
one. This
ooh,
is okay. So, like a big internet thing that happened in the last week or two was like there's this big debate about whether 100 men could defeat a gorilla if they had like a no holds barred battle.
right. No weapons, just mano a mano,
Right,
hand on hand combat.
right. Is 100 men enough to overcome a gorilla?
I don't
And
think it
apparently, most
is.
men feel like they could.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know. Are we? I don't. I'm not terribly interested in discussing the
Yeah.
men versus gorilla question. It's a dumb question.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll leave that to
so here
Mythbusters.
we have two bitches versus a gorilla, and it's Ego and Quinta playing two bitches and confronting a gorilla. And I don't know what was this.
Yeah, this. I mean, it's this premise is like beyond simple. I
Yeah.
mean, I'll give them points for a little bit of creativity because we see the whole thing from the viewpoint, the POV
Mm-hmm.
of the gorilla. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it kind of felt like they were making this up as they went along because like literally all they do is just these two women, in a gorilla enclosure, just
Yeah.
mocking and trying to pick a fight and antagonizing a gorilla and
Yeah.
like saying things, oh, it's my birthday weekend, and you all up in my grill and you ain't got no ribs. Uh, and this ain't you think this ain't the first time I fought a 400-pound bitch? I used to work at Lane Bryant. Again, bitch. Uh, yeah, I feel like this sketch is almost like Snakes on a Plane because
Uh huh.
all the jokes are just in the title. Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
It just felt very. I don't know. Def Comedy Jam insults and
It really did. It sounded
I
like
don't know.
some.
Worse of the night for me.
Yeah, this felt like something that you might have seen on like In Living Color or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
it felt very dated, and it really didn't kind of go anywhere. And then it just ends with the two of them dying, and it just cuts to their tombstone saying, "Oh, two bitches, R.I.P.
Yeah.
they ain't even do nothing. I was like, I don't know, man. That was kind of weak sauce.
I don't know. Yeah, this is one of those sketches you see and you're just like, really? What the hell did they cut from the show? If this made it in, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, there's all sorts of factors that always go in, but you watch this and you're like, really? There wasn't anything better than this? Really? Okay. All right. All right. Did you have anything else to say about Two Bitches versus a Gorilla?
No. It is definitely the weakest one of the night.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, but next we got our musical guest, Mr. Benson Boone. He did two numbers, Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else and Mystical Magical.
Mystical Magical Tour. Come on.
I really liked him. Especially the first number, the Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else. I was like, this is like fun, energetic. It's got great lyrics. I really liked it. It was kind of like retro cool. I really enjoyed him.
Yeah, he's definitely sort of calling back to a bit of a bygone era. I also like. Mm-hmm. I thought it was interesting where when Quinta introduced him, saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, Benson Boone," the camera kind of stayed on her for a bit, and then they cut to another angle, and he just did like a backflip behind her.
Yeah,
and like I was like, "Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that."
And then he starts the number like right behind her. Yeah, that was kind of a neat way to start it out.
I was like, "All right, that's new. Okay, here we go."
Yeah, that was neat. Yeah. I was like, I knew really nothing about Benson Boone before this, and I really liked him. I was like, oh, I want to check out more of his stuff. He's got something.
He's on a
this kid's gonna go places.
He's on a one-man mission to bring back jumpsuits, and I applaud that.
Yes, we need more jumpsuits in the world.
That's right. Evel Knievel, like he took it as far as he could, and it needs to come back now more than ever.
We need more jumpsuits. We need more backflips. I am here for it. Yeah,
I'm trying. I'm learning. I'm gonna practice in my bedroom.
Oh no, this is not going to end well, Darren. No,
that's right. What, you don't think that would go well in my one-bedroom apartment, just doing backflips?
You are in your 40s, sir. We are not built to do backflips at our age.
Don't tell me what I can and can't do with my body, John Trumbull. If I want to do a backflip, land on my ever weakening knees, I'll do that backflip.
All right. I look forward to next week's show when you're in traction from your hospital room. Do not say I didn't warn you.
Tales from Mount Sinai. It's the SNL nerds.
But I like this stuff. It was a lot of fun. One of my favorite musical guests from the season so far.
Wow.
I'd say.
Wowee.
Yeah.
Wowie zowie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well done, Mr. Boone. You made yourself a friend there, Benson Boone, in John Trumbull.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about a friend.
Yes,
a fan potentially, but
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, he seems nice enough.
Okay, so yeah, maybe you guys can meet up and hang out, just have a beer or something.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to rush into this,
But you said you loved him. I don't understand.
I didn't say that. I said I enjoyed his performance on SNL. Let's not make this into something it isn't.
You said you loved me.
Well, okay, now we're like we went over from Benson Boone to me loving you.
I know. I was pretending to be Benson Boone, like I was inhabiting his soul.
Okay.
Like, hey, John Trumbull, this is Benson Boone. You said you loved me, man. Like, I thought we had something.
Well, again, didn't say that. No.
I left my wife and kids for you, and
okay. Didn't even know you had those. All right.
No, well, I'm just supposed to just walk home in this jumpsuit all alone through the streets of New York.
You could backflip home. Yeah.
Backflip home.
Yeah.
In this leotard jumpsuit and just oh my God, what have I done?
Well, I'm sorry, Benson Boone. I'm here for someone else.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, that's the song name. Hey.
See what I did there was a little clever thing I did.
John, you are magical, mystical, or whatever.
Thank you.
And scene.
Yes.
Weekend update.
Weekend update with Colin Jost and Michael Che.
Hey. Jokes about our horrible president and his, of course, talking about the tariffs and how, people may have to have $2 instead of 30. which caused Jost to say in his new segment, "Oh hell no."
Yeah.
Because if Jost wakes up and sees only 2 dolls under the Christmas tree, he will lose his effing mind.
Yeah, and if there are only $2 under the tree, there better be another tree with $28 underneath it. And they also talked about like Trump tweeting or posting the AI generated image of himself as the Pope. Very surprised there were no jokes about Trump literally falling asleep at the Pope's funeral.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I guess
I don't know.
At this point, I guess that's all.
By the way, that might have made a better cold open than what we got. I mean,
yeah, that makes
Trump
sense.
falling asleep at the funeral and have people like reacting to that. I think you can make a very funny sketch out of that.
No, that actually makes sense. But I think because he does something insane every week. That insane thing is almost kind of like old news now at this point, even though it wasn't that long ago. So you got to do the most recent insane thing he said or did.
I guess so. Yeah, there was a lot of catch up on this because SNL's been off for a couple weeks. So
right.
So there's a lot of like, hey, we got to make a joke about every single thing that happened since we've been off.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, do you? I don't know, but I personally was surprised they didn't do anything about Trump falling asleep at the Pope's funeral.
That might have been.
Could have done something with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been better. You could have had somebody do a Biden or even Dana Carvey if David Carvey's around.
Yeah, have who's their go-to Melania now? Is it Chloe?
I don't think they
Melania. So yeah, I guess they don't have a regular Melania now.
I mean, I'd assume it was Chloe because she played him in that White Lotus sketch. So
yeah,
I don't know. Also, Elon is stepping back from Doge, but like always, he's pulling out a little too late.
Yeah, because he's got too many kids.
Yeah,
get him.
Yeah, he busts right at him. Oh, did I take it too far?
Yeah, you take it a little too. This is why we don't have that morning radio show.
Oh dear, damn it! Trey making jokes about how the new $50 coins will have Superman and Batman on them, and better luck next time, Tubman. And it's Harriet Tubman, and groans from the audience.
Yes. And I also liked his joke about the Sean Combs trial starting up, and he says, and just like his parties, I'm only going there to watch. Ha ha.
Oh, boy.
And we got a couple death segments. We got Michael Longfellow on Real ID.
So for those that don't know, apparently you need like a Real ID now in order to travel on domestic flights. Because I mean, before that, you were able to just use your driver's license to sort of fly domestically, but like now you need to have a Real ID in order to fly domestically. Or if you have...
they were telling me about this when I was renewing my driver's license last summer, so
so it's like a new thing that a lot of people are just kind of either finding out about now, or because the cutoff date is coming closer, they're like kind of telling people, hey, you need a Real ID to fly. Or actually, I also found that if you have a passport that's still up to date, you can just use that.
Right.
So there's that too. So anyway, so Michael Longfellow comes out talking about the Real ID, and he's basically saying, hey, government, no, you already gave me an ID. If it's fake, you fix it. You're doing this now? The Pope is dead. Let me mourn.
I liked how he says, like, hey, I work 12 hours a week. And Colin's like, wait, you work only 12 hours a week? He's like, yeah, I'm not in that much stuff this season.
I dug this one. I thought, like, I don't know, something about Longfellow. He just has all this, like, confidence and just kinda...
He's so dry. I kind of love that.
Like, I know a lot of people compare him to Norm, which I definitely see that, but like in this performance, I felt like I saw maybe shades of Chevy, like young Chevy a little bit, and even a little bit of Dennis Miller, dare I say, in this as well.
Okay, all right.
Like he's just like confident and just comfortable as hell, and in front of the camera, good eye contact, and like he like you said, he has a very dry sense of humor, but he also gets a little silly at times too.
Yeah.
Talking about...
I like towards the end, he's talking about how, new rules for the aircraft, like, if there's a problem with the plane and they wait 2 hours, passengers can vote on whether or not to risk it.
Yes. I mean, I like how Joseph saying, "Hey, you need to get your ID, or else you won't be able to fly." And saying, "Hey, it's 2025. Planes aren't able to fly."
Yeah, yeah,
They're like they're like that HBO Pete Holmes show crashing, and no one said anything in the audience. He was like, "Thank you, all right."
yeah,
And
yeah,
a lot of Pete Holmes fans in the audience.
yeah.
And he also had another joke about how, for new rules, like if the TSA has to touch your crotch, they have to
Hmm.
keep on doing it until you climax.
And then we get a nice fist bump from Colin
It's like,
Jost because he's
right
like,
on, brother.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, just the phrase climax always makes me chuckle. But yeah, I dug this segment. I thought it was great,
Hmm.
and I mean, I know a few people are saying, no, a lot of people are saying, people are saying that like, oh, this seems like almost his audition to take over the Weekend Update desk, and I mean, I don't really see that, but I mean, if it was, I wouldn't be mad at it. He just seems like really kind
Be
of,
interesting to see what he did with it. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I feel like he might be more built for death segments, but
mm,
yeah, okay.
yeah, but
I
no,
mean, I just like Michael Longfellow, and I'd like to see him more on the show.
yeah, no, he's funny. He knocked this one out the park. I agree. I would love to see him more on the
Yeah,
show. And the
and
next segment.
two Applebee's barflies, Darlene and Duke, played by Sarah and Bowen.
Yes. So they're basically talking about how a lot of the restaurant chains are kind of, the businesses are kind of tanking these days. Applebee's is in
Hmm.
trouble. TGI Fridays, Red Lobster, Olive Garden. They're all kind of, people ain't
Yeah,
going to these fine establishments anymore.
yeah,
And yeah, so we have Darlene and Duke, two barflies who get drunk on Applebee's, cocktails and trying to defend
yeah,
their struggling restaurant chains.
yeah.
And
I wasn't too nuts about this one, really.
it was okay. They had a few good lines in here. I mean, Bowen and Sarah play off each other really well. Like they seem to be
Hmm.
partnered up quite a bit in sketches, and even outside of the show, they seem to hang out quite a bit. So like they're super.
They're always in their little corner at good night, so I think they're pretty tight.
Yeah, they even have that dandruff commercial that's out together.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So they're in constant thing.
Are you
And
getting a little sick of seeing all the commercials with the SNL cast?
yes,
I
I
am.
am. Part of me is
Yeah.
thinking they're doing that just for, I don't know. Like part of me is wondering like why are they doing this now? Like with the
Well,
T-Mobile
it's like a
commercial.
sponsorship thing with the show. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
I
like
mean,
weird. Like
I think it pumps a little more money into the show.
I was thinking that too because like I'm pretty sure NBC is like making budget cuts and whatnot. So like I'm assuming
Yeah.
they're doing this to like kind of circumvent all that because yeah, with this T-Mobile
Yeah.
commercials with Marcelo and Keenan, the
Yeah.
Capital One with Delicious Dish with
Yeah.
Gassier and
And that
Shannon.
car commercial with the Californians, and
Yeah, like
we've even got ex cast members being roped into this. That's a little weird.
yeah. Part of me
Um,
is like, oh my, is SNL all right? Are they gonna have to do a GoFundMe? What the fuck?
yeah, it's just I'm not too nuts about them doing real commercials. I'm just
Yeah, I'm not wild about it, but I'm assuming it's just because
yeah.
to keep the lights on, I guess.
And
So.
honestly, if I had to guess, I would bet a lot of the cast aren't wild about doing it either.
I would, yeah, I would
Yeah.
assume so too. I'm sure maybe they work that into their contract, like they have to do it, and then
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure they don't have any choice.
yeah, it's like oh, if you
I mean,
read,
I would say like Hader, Armisen, and Kristen Wiig had a choice, but
like Bowen, if you read your contract, you'll see line
yeah,
47. You do a dandruff commercial.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
you'll like
I
it.
own you.
You're my property, and that's okay.
Yeah,
That's all.
and after you're done with this, you need to pick up my dry cleaning.
Oh my god! It's like, oh, I should have read
Yes,
this.
Lord.
Oh dear. Showbiz.
Yeah, no, I mean, every cast member has to pick up my dry cleaning until at least their fifth year.
Yeah, yeah. It's part of the orientation. You see.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as this, yeah, Darlene and Duke, I thought it was okay. It was fun to see Sherman and Bowen, go back and forth. Their line
Yeah.
about Fuddruckers and how they thought that was it sounded like a slur. Like, hey, look at
Mhm.
those Fuddruckers over there. And then Bowen says, "Oh, is that guy like a Fudd Ragged?" and like the audience gasped at that point. They were like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god!"
and he's like, no, I can say it.
And yeah, then at the end of this, we have Benson Boone making a cameo as Applebee's waiter, bringing out sizzling fajitas.
Hmm.
And they sing Benson Boone's big song, Applebee's stay, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Cute enough, I guess.
Yeah. I was just very on it in
Yeah,
general. So
yeah, but overall, not a bad weekend update, I'd say. I was definitely warmer on the Longfellow segment than the
yeah, me too.
second part.
Got the job done.
Mm-hmm. Here.
It took up about 13 minutes airtime. So
It sure did.
and really, isn't that the main point?
It wasted time, and in the end, isn't that what we all want?
Next, we have Addicts Anonymous. With
Mm-hmm.
we got a group of addicts meeting, and it's got Quinta Brunson, Keenan Thompson, Mikey Day, Marcel Hernandez, Heidi Gardner. They're talking about being addicts and stuff, and it kind of comes out over the course of this that Keenan's like new in town. He just relocated because he's like, I thought a fresh start would help me out with
I'm new in
my
town.
appetites. Yeah, and then it kind of gradually comes out over the course of the sketch. He's just looking for info on where to score.
Yeah, and then that's basically it's like like I saw that demon on my shoulder telling me like I'll just go down to I don't know where do people get drugs around here? And it's like Fourth and and then Marcel's like I used to cop on Fourth and Belmont. It's like all right, I'm gonna write that down, and
Right.
so that's basically it. It's basically kind of a Keenan sketch, hamming it up quite a bit and just trying to
What? Keenan hyming it up? No. Say it ain't so,
I was trying
Darren.
to be nice. I was trying to find a
Yeah.
nice way to say it. But yeah, like him trying to find ways to get drugs at this Addicts Anonymous meeting. And that's not
It's all right. I feel like, it has the same problem with the Bill and Ted sketch from earlier is like after you have that initial turn, that's pretty much it, all we can really do is repeat that gag a bit. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, like this he just kind of keeps on repeating the same old gag. Escalation isn't again. Have a drink. The escalation isn't really there, and it just basically this whole sketch hinges on how charming you find Keenan and his goofy goof 'em ups.
Yeah.
But yeah, not too many memorable lines in this one. I just thought it was just okay.
Yeah, it was all right. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. But yeah, just again, no, not much of anywhere to go after the initial turn. So
yeah, I did get a chuckle at the point where because Mikey Day's character has holding a cup of coffee and he mentions how like there are people dealing outside my house, and then Keenan just runs up to him and just shakes him. Like, let me live with you. Let me live in your house, man. Like so hard that Mikey spills the coffee in his cup. So that was a nice little wild moment. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jerry Jackrabbit Tulane 10-1.
Yeah, we got it's a boxing show called The Greats. James Austin Johnson's hosting that. He's talking about this great old boxer named Jerry Jackrabbit Tulane, played by Quinta Brunson. And basically like boxer trash talk. We got a 1968 press conference and lots of insults. Quinta's talking a big game.
Yes. Talking about his opponent's so ugly, he looks in the mirror and his reflection ducks. Oh, like basically Muhammad Ali type of insult,
Yeah.
But the thing of it is that Jerry Jackrabbit Tulane talks the talk, but he cannot walk the walk.
Yeah, like on their boxing match, he's knocked over the ropes into the 12th row in the first 9 seconds.
Yes.
And then we have a rematch 8 months later. We have that press conference, and this time, like Quinta Brunson's got like a bandage on her forehead,
right?
And still insulting and all that. And
yeah, I'm saying I got God on my side. If I get knocked out, God will pick me back up. Cut to JAJ as the narrator saying, "Yeah, the paramedics picked him up," and yeah, so basically he trash talks and then he gets his ass whooped.
And then we have yet another rematch, this time partly because Jerry Jackrabbit Tulane ran up a massive bill for pornography in his hotel room.
As you do.
I like that little detail.
Yeah.
And this time, like, he's even more injured. He's got an arm in a cast, and he's very obviously punch drunk and not making a whole lot of sense.
It's like, I'm going to beat that chump up, or my name ain't Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah. And then and at this point, his opponent doesn't even want to box him again.
Yeah. So at the last one, JJ says, Bo Shannon, the opponent, put Jerry into a pillowcase and walked him to a convalescent home where he spent several happy years fighting him up.
Yeah.
Until one day where he sneezed and his brain flew out of his nose.
Yeah.
The last part, I mean, there was a little bit more escalation in this one, but I did like the little part where...
I liked that it got a little absurd towards the end, but overall it was just very
Yeah, I did like Quinta's performance, though. I thought, like especially in the last part where she was saying, like, he's going to be wishing it's because I'm on a mission and then I'll go fishing and he'll have a premonition, like, and he just like stutters and goes all over the place. And
I mean, this was all on Quinta's shoulders because it's pretty much all her, and just like a few interjections from Keenan and then some stuff from JAJ as the host to kind of, I guess, I'm assuming, cover the changes.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, Quinta carried it well. I just only found it so funny wise,
Yeah, fair enough. I thought it was okay. I liked her performance in it, but yeah, like part of me wishes it was a little bit. There was a little bit more meat on the bone.
That's why they put it at the end of the night, I guess.
I guess that's why they call it the blues.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like Quinta's a strong host and she's a great performer, but I felt like it was a very so episode of SNL.
Yeah, I would say so. I think it was all right, but
yeah, because it like pretty much everything I just sort of liked, but there wasn't anything that like blew me away, and I'm like, oh my god, that was amazing. So
fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough.
so it feels like a C plus B minus sort of show,
I'll go with that. Yeah, but I will agree that like Quinta Brunson's really good. Like I can see them definitely bring her back to host again. Maybe Five Timers Club. I mean, it's too early to say that, but like it seems like the cast really likes working with her. She's very good. The audience likes her. Like I can totally see her them putting the call out to bringing her back on again for sure.
Yeah, they seem to like her, so that wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah, but enough about us. What do you, the listener, think about this episode? Let's go to the blue sky, Johnny.
Okay, let's see. Starting out, our friend Lahat Helion, he says, I love this episode.
Ooh.
Every sketch hit except the gorilla one. It was the Keenan and Quinta show today, so everyone stayed out of the way. And Dwayne Wade made a cameo appearance in the monologue. He is my favorite basketball player of all time. So yeah, this is automatically my favorite episode.
Nice.
And he also says, I also hope everyone is doing okay. These are all funky times we live in. I'm glad we have our own little community where once a week, we can laugh together or complain about how we did not laugh together. Love you guys.
Oh, we love you too, Lihat Lion. Thank you for those kind
little
words.
Peace and a little heart. So that's very sweet.
Peace and love, baby. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
Our good friend at the We Heart Hater podcast saying best episode of the season.
Wow.
I have a bit of a headache from laughing so much and so hard. Longfellow was beautifully unhinged on Update. In the monologue, I really appreciated the backup dancers wore a variety of body types. Oh, you noticed that? That's
true. Yeah, during the short song, they got short backup dancers, which was a nice touch.
Oh, right on. Quinta will be a fast track 5-timer, I am sure. Colin Jost ending the ferry sketch was perfect. In reference to your question after my comment on the previous episode, the musical I had to freeze in was The Mystery of Edwin Drood as background in an opium den.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
I've never been in The Mystery of Edwin Drood. I've seen a couple productions of it, and that's one where at least one production I saw. It was one where like the actors have to come out and they interact with the audience, and it's like, "Hello, governor, I'm your faithful chimney sweep,"
Oh
and
boy.
it's very much that thing. And I personally find that very embarrassing for both the actors and the audience when they have to do that.
Yeah,
Not
like I mean, I know they did that in like Cats back in the
yeah,
day, and like yeah, I feel that too. Like whenever a person has to like interact with the audience, I'm like, I never know what like. Oh, do I have to play
I
along
always
with you?
find it awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you don't have to do this, man. Just
And it's like, yeah, it's awkward if they're a stranger. It's awkward if they know you in real life. It's just kind of weird.
it really is.
Um,
It's just
yeah,
like I'm not into this.
I don't mind it in Cabaret because it's like pretty ladies in lingerie, and I'm like, yes,
Mm.
okay, I can get behind this. Um,
Get behind
but
it.
do you know that like Mystery Edwin Drood is a neat show though? Do you know the backstory of that?
I'm not familiar with Mystery Edwin Drood at all.
Okay, so it was like the last book written by Charles Dickens, but he died in the middle of writing it.
Oh shit.
So he we only have like a certain number of chapters. We don't know how he was going to end the book.
Mm.
And so what they did was they turned it into this play. I think it's a musical. I'm trying to remember if it's a musical or not, and I honestly can't remember. But anyway, the gimmick of this is they constructed it so that like every character is a viable suspect, and the audience votes on who was behind it all, who did it.
Oh.
And they also vote on. You can vote on like which two characters become a couple at the end, and I think there's a third thing you vote on as well. It's been years since I've seen the show, so I can't remember it
Oh.
entirely well. But it's a lot of fun, and the poor actors who do this show, they have to memorize all these alternate endings,
Oh my god.
and so it's like a different show every night based on how the audience votes. So
Oh wow.
yeah.
It sounds kind of neat. It's almost like
Yeah,
a
yeah. I remember seeing a performance where they had like the audience voted on which two characters should end up together as a couple, and it ended up being like two male characters, and this is like in Victorian England, so
oh
it
my.
was yeah. So they made a joke out of it. It's like a half comedy show too. So
Okay.
it's a fun show if you have a chance to see it. It is fun, even though sit away from an aisle so the actors don't
Oh
come
yes.
near you.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I never sit near there. That's
Yeah.
that's a trap, baby.
Right.
Okay, that sounds pretty neat. All right, I'll take it out.
Yeah. It is a neat show. Cool. So,
All right. Okay. Yeah. Next door, our good friend next door, saying Quinta could easily have been a cast member. It comes so naturally. Enjoyed the episode. I think the Will and Todd was my sketch of the evening. It's such an obvious joke, but I never spotted it coming. And as an aside, I'm ready for Bowen to leave. He only annoyed me when he showed up as Dr. Thingy. Interesting.
And Stephen M. at Super Techie 19 says, she really seemed to fit in. I'm okay with Bowen, but there's better talent. Wow.
Everybody's turning on Bowen. I thought y'all loved him.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm like sick of Bowen.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's got another year or two left in him. If I had to vote for somebody to leave, it would of course be Keenan, because I feel like he's shown us all he can do. But Keenan's going to stay on the show until he drops dead. He's said as much. So I'm just kind of resigned to him being there.
Yeah, it just seems to be a foregone conclusion. He's just there.
I mean, he's said as much in interviews. He's like, I think it'd be cool if I never left, and I'm like, I disagree, Keenan. But, and not that I really dislike Keenan. He does get on my nerves sometimes, but I feel like after 22 years, he's given everything he can to the show.
Yeah, but it's like one of those things. People love him, and no one seems to be sick of him. I will say, like he doesn't like hog the spotlight that much. I don't think. Like I think I mean, this episode, it's a bad example of that because
it was a heavy episode for him. Yeah.
Yeah, but like normally, if you watch any of the past episodes, he kind of does take a back seat unless like the newer cast members shine a bit. So like
I guess so. Yeah.
So like so I mean maybe he knows to do that just so that people don't get sick of him too.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree. Yeah, like if Keenan wants to go, that I'd be fine with it. But if it wants to stay on a little bit longer, I wouldn't totally hate it maybe as much as I would have maybe a couple years ago. But at this point, it just seems like a foregone conclusion that he's just going to stay.
No, I don't expect him to leave of his own volition at this point, and and I don't. I certainly don't see him being fired.
No.
Yeah, he's just there. I've just come to accept he's there, and some weeks I'll love it, some weeks I'll tolerate it. That's just how it is.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Also, Stephen M says, fine episode. Outside of only seniors, nothing stood out too much and nothing failed hard. Keep those Johnsons well rested. All right.
Keep those Johnsons well rested. I don't know if I'm entirely.
I think that's from the only seniors sketch.
Oh, okay. The Johnsons or the neighbors.
Yeah, I don't think he's talking about our penises.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, I hope he's not talking about our penis.
I mean, I hope he is talking about our penises. I mean, God knows someone should.
Would somebody please talk about my penis?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, what am I even doing going on OnlyFans if people aren't going to talk about my penis?
I beg of you, people.
I'm trying to create a buzz, people.
Spread the word. Spread the good word about my penis.
Spread the word. I need some testimonials.
Testimonials. I see what you're doing. Oh, we have fun.
Yeah. So it's just, this was just, for me, just very so kind of episode of SNL. So kind of tough to talk about.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, there wasn't much that blew me away, but there wasn't anything that I felt was a total train wreck. All of them, most everything was just okay. So
yeah, I'd agree with that. Actually, and I will say, for an episode where, because usually the first episode back from a break is usually kind of a clunker.
True.
I thought this for the first episode back. I thought this was better than most. I'll say.
Yeah, I would say so. And I just feel it's kind of unusual that you have a host as strong as Quinta Brunson, and it's just a so-so show. I thought that was kind of unusual.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully the next time they have her on, which, I'm sure they will, they'll have better material and should be able to really knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
All right. And that's our episode, guys. Thanks again for listening to the podcast. As always, you can follow us on Blue Sky at SNL Nerds. You can donate to our Patreon at Non-Productive.com. You can go to our YouTube page. Listen to this on the YouTubers. And as always, you can follow me on all the social medias at Darren Credible, DARIN Credible.
You can follow me on all the socials at Trumbull Comic, TRUMBULL, and the word comic. So, yes, I'm on all those places. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And next week, we got Walton Goggins at Arcade Fire.
Yes.
Interesting.
That should be an interesting show. Yeah.
Yeah. Walton Goggins, big. He's having a bit of a blow up right now. Righteous Gemstone just had their final episode.
He was on the last season of the White Lotus, I know.
Yes, White Lotus. I mean, he's a guy that's been around forever. I mean, he was on The Shield back in the day.
Yeah, that was like his breakout role, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Justified. I was a huge fan of that show. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, he's one of those guys. Been in a lot of everything. Django Unchained and Hateful Eight.
We went through a lot of his credits last week. Let's not repeat ourselves.
Okay,
but he's been in a ton of stuff and he's been good in it all. So
absolutely. So Walton Goggins and Arcade Fire is coming back. And they got a new album coming out, and that should be cool.
Yep. Looking forward to it. Looking forward. So we'll see you here next week. In a week's time, we'll be back here. Same bat time, same bat channel. Talk about SNL again. You give us our opinions, we'll give you ours. We'll go into more detail about ours, I suppose. And that's more or less how it works, right?
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah. So we'll join you next week. But until then, nerds out! Do you notice I listened to, what was it? I re-listened to, it was the Batman Returns episode. And at the end of that one, Frank didn't edit our Nerds Out together.
What?
I felt so betrayed.
Frank, I swear to God, if you don't put these Nerds Out together, I swear to God. Also, thank you very much for editing and everything you do.
Yeah, we love you and everything you do and all that. And yeah, sorry, there's like a few technical screw-ups and glitches in this.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry if we accidentally spoiled the Thunderbolts or something for you. So
yeah, you weren't going to watch it, right?
This has been a non-productive media presentation. Executive producer Frank Hablawi. This program and many others like it on the Non-Productive Network is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives license. Please share it, but ask before trying to change it or sell it. For more information, visit non-productive.com.